And now we return to local news with Joan, who will start with sports.
Enfield Town are gearing up for a significant milestone in their 11-year history on Saturday when they face their first ever match in Step 3 of non-league football. Steve Newing's men make the trip to Lewis in the Ryman Premier Division as they begin life at the higher level following their triumph in last season's Division 1 North playoffs. Town will be heading into the new campaign with a largely unchanged squad, with midfield trio Gary Burrell, Joe O'Brien and Mitch Hahn the only significant additions, as boss Newing looks to keep faith with the players who secured promotion. And the manager admits that everyone at the club is relishing the opportunity to test themselves at the higher level. We're all really looking forward to it, he said. Pre-season seems to have dragged a bit and we just want to get up and at it. It's our first game at this level and it's been a long time coming for the club. I think the standard of non-league football gets better and better every year, but as long as we play like we can, and then we are more than good enough to comfortably stay in this division.
Olympic judo gold medalist Lasha, wait for it, Shavdatuash, I'm terribly sorry, I can't say this name. Lasha Shavdatuashvili visited Enfield Judo Club to help inspire the next generation of budding judokas. The 20-year-old from Georgia defeated Hungary's Miklos Ungvari in the final to secure victory at London 2012 in the under 66 kilogram competition. Georgian under 73 kilogram number one Nugzar Tatalashvili joined his compatriot at the event held on August 7th. Both, despite their limited English, passed on advice to the Enfield judokas, and Shavdatuashvili also took on the club's more competent members and their juniors in practice bouts, an experience which will undoubtedly help their future development.
Now for athletics. Shichindu Yoja was named Male Athlete of the Match as Enfield and Haringey Athletic Club secured a fourth-placed finish in the Southern Premier Division of the National Junior League by coming fourth in Sunday's last meeting of the season at Allianz Park, formerly known as Copthall Stadium. Yuja was rewarded for his efforts in the sprints as he triumphed in both the 100 metres and 200 metres at A-string level before joining forces with Clifford Newby, Kyron Williams and Jamie King to win the 4x100 metre relay. There were also victories for Beth Grimsey in the women's pole vault, Mary Fasby, women's triple jump, Regan D, women's high jump, and Chris Candu in the men's high jump.
And I have some sports shorts. Rugby Union. Saracens prop Matt Stevens has announced his retirement from international rugby. The 29-year-old won 44 caps, appearing in 2 World Cups, and was a regular during this year's Six Nations Championship before injury forced him out of the summer tour of South Africa. This is one of the most difficult decisions I have had to make, he said, but I have a young family and conscious that I would not be able to commit to the World Cup in 3 years. I have decided that the time is right to call it a day and to focus on my rugby at Saracens. Meanwhile, Sarries recorded a 24-12 win at Bedford in their opening pre-season friendly on Friday night.
Now I have one letter written by Councillor Joan Laban, Conservative, Town Vice Chairman, Sustainability and the Living Environment Scrutiny Panel. Now this is where it starts. I would encourage all residents to take inspiration from Team GB, take up a sport, use our leisure centres and visit our parks. If you are debating whether to take up a sporting activity, let me give you a few reasons from my own experiences. When I was younger, I swam for an Enfield swimming club and competed in many events. This enabled me to make friends from many different social and economic backgrounds. Competitions taught me about winning and losing at a young age, something that has helped me in politics. Involvement in sport also gave me the opportunity to gain qualifications in a sport I love, which led to a job. Two of the many reasons given by people who rioted last year were that they had nothing to do and frustration with a lack of opportunities for young people. As you can see from my own example, sport can give you something to do and may lead to jobs or work experience opportunities. It also improves your health and is fun. There is an argument that some sports can be expensive to participate in and so exclude the poorest and most vulnerable. That is why I totally support the comments made by Lord Moynihan, Chairman of the British Olympic Association, that government funding in sport must continue to ensure the athletes of tomorrow are from all backgrounds.
I was delighted... Oh, sorry about this. This is a letter from Bowes Labour councillor Alan Sitkin. I was delighted to see the letter by Green Party activist Adrian Peeler. His opinion, worship of cars must end, opinion August the 8th, advocating policies that Enfield's Labour administration has pursued steadfastly since we took control of the council away from the local motorists lobby, also known as the Tory party. Mr. Peeler's sentiments are very much in line with our work to promote modal shift away from cars and develop less polluting forms of mobility, such as cycling, public transportation, often in the face of Tory opposition. If he would like to contact me directly, I can also inform him of the work we've done to improve the measurement of pollutants near Bowes School. I'm sure he shares the outrage we felt when Boris Johnson delayed implementation of his predecessor's low emission zones to gain the favour of people driving smog-belching vehicles. We have started publicising this data online to bolster our campaign for tighter air quality policing on Transport for London routes like the North Circular. This is similar to the argument Bowes Labour councillors are using to oppose Pinkham Way. It is gratifying to see some members of other parties support our efforts. We have a common stake in protecting Enfield's environment.
A few years ago, it's a letter from Paul D. Smith at the Enfield Liberal Democrats. A few years ago, the rangers were removed from our parks. This year, the regular park keepers seem to have vanished too. What is the result? This picture speaks for itself. This is the middle of Enfield Town Park. It shows rubbish left out in black sacks for a few nights and scattered all over by vermin. Readers may be doubly surprised, since the council repeatedly tells residents never to leave black bags out overnight, precisely because this happens. Perhaps the council should practice what it preaches. No doubt it will plead poverty and cutbacks, but this is not a result of penny pinching. It is a result of a failure to dispose of refuse properly and effectively. Cleaning this mess up is going to take time. Time is money, and the residents of Enfield will be out of pocket for this. I walk through the town park every day, and sadly scenes like this are the norm, not the exception. Readers might like to email me, paul@pauldsmith.org.uk, their own examples of neglect around Enfield. I imagine this is not the only one.
And I have a letter from Mrs. E Lam of Tintern Road, Wood Green. And she says, While I was on a routine visit to Chase Farm, my beloved husband Gerard was taken poorly and taken to the hospital's accident and emergency department. Firstly, I want to say a very big thank you to all the staff who helped us, even though they were busy. They saw him straight away, even when several ambulances arrived with other casualties, which made them even busier. They still went out of their way to provide my husband with a quick and very kind and convenient service, from triage to cubicle to bloods taken and ECGs carried out. When Chase Farm loses the A&E and maternity units, it will be a sad day for all of us, and it is a disgusting thing to do. North Middlesex will be so much busier, so let's hope that they will be ready. If Mr. Cameron and this horrid government actually cared about what people thought about the jewel in our crown and the envy of the world, our beloved National Health Service, they would leave it alone, fund it properly and stop the asset stripping of it. Without it, I would not have my beloved husband alive today. And together we recently celebrated 20 wonderful years of marriage, despite his disabilities.
Well, now we're going back to general news. People have been warned to stay away from a lake in a Southgate Park, which has become contaminated with toxic algae. Blue-green algae, which can cause serious illness, has been found in the waters of Grovelands Park in the Bourne following tests led by Enfield Council. Those who come into contact with the water run the risk of skin irritation, rashes, sore throat, sore red eyes, swollen lips, fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The council is urging people to avoid swimming in the lake. Visitors should also not touch the blue-green algae, which is on the shoreline, or eat fish from its waters, and pets should be kept away. Even more serious illnesses, such as liver damage, can be contracted if people repeatedly drink water contaminated with algae. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for the Environment, Councillor Chris Bond, said, "Blue-green algae produces a poison that can cause serious illness to animals or humans who drink or have skin contact with it, so it is very important people stay away from the lake water until we give the all clear. We are working with the Environment Agency to control and resolve this outbreak. In the meantime, we've sealed off the lake and erected warning signs to protect park users and pets." People with queries should contact the Council's Park section on 0208 379 1000.
The atmosphere was electric as 70 people competed in a race walk at Queen Elizabeth II Stadium last Tuesday. The Olympic-style event, organised by Enfield Race Walking League, encouraged participants to get involved in either a 3-mile or 5-mile route mapped out in the stadium in Donkey Lane, Enfield. The Mayor of Enfield, Councillor Kate Anolu, who officially opened the race, showed she was in the Olympic spirit by joining the 3-mile route. Councillor Anolu stuck to the back during the walk, but she managed to complete the course while wearing ordinary shoes. Professional Portuguese race walker Francisco Reis won the 5-mile event, hitting a time of 39 minutes and 24 seconds. John Hall, chairman of the Friends of Enfield Playing Fields, who attended the event, said the atmosphere was really electric. People definitely were getting involved in the Olympic spirit. We had a great time, and it was a great opportunity for people to play a part in the excitement surrounding the games. All the participants were handed mini medals as mementos to mark their involvement in the race. Race walking, which is an athletic track and field Olympic event, is different from running because one foot must be in contact with the ground at all times.
4 friends who met in a pub will row across the English Channel this autumn to raise thousands of pounds for charity. Kieran Lynch of St John's Terrace in Clay Hill will take on the challenge with fellow Londoners Jim O'Malley, George Adams and Liam Ronan. The objective is to raise cash for Cancer Research UK and the Douglas Macmillan Hospice. Graphic designer Mr Lynch was drinking with his work colleague Mr O'Malley in a Holborn pub a year ago when they got talking to the 2 other men. Although none of the men had ever rowed before, they decided to take on the 350-mile journey to France to raise cash for a good cause. Mr Lynch, 35, said, "We were having a drink and talked about it. It was really just a case of adults being childish, but we thought it would be a good challenge. We have a really good team bond, and that is what is going to help us finish it." The 4 men have already raised more than £1,000 through donations and a charity pub quiz, but are aiming to hit the £4,000 mark. Father of one, Mr Lynch, said Great Britain's success in the Olympics had given the group a second wind, and they had been spurred on to raise as much cash as possible for the charities. The newly found friends learned how to row at Lee Rowing Club in Hackney, where they continue to train every Sunday. They also practiced on the canal in Clapton and on the Sea and Shoreham near Brighton to get ready for their challenge. Mr Lynch, who aims to reach France within 6 hours, added, "There isn't any real worry about the challenge because we are all dedicated. I suppose my biggest worry is getting lost at sea." The men are hoping to launch their big adventure at the end of September or beginning of October. They are now seeking an experienced cox to help to coordinate them on their charity mission.
Fans of hit BBC television show Strictly Come Dancing now have the chance to become a star and raise money for North London Hospice. Dancing Strictly, which is sponsored by the Enfield Independent, is a great opportunity for all those with dreams of becoming the next Harry Judd or Alicia Dixon to see if they have what it takes to be a hit on the dance floor. Competitors will receive 7 weeks of training from professional teachers before going head-to-head in the grand finale on Saturday, February the 9th. In the Bruce Forsyth Auditorium at Millfield Theatre, Edmonton. Gina McLaughlin, North London Hospice community fundraiser, said, "People love the glitz and the glamour of Strictly Come Dancing, and it's something we really want to recreate. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you've never danced before in your life. The important thing is that you come along, enjoy yourself and support a fantastic cause in your community." She added, "It's all about giving people who have always wanted to learn to dance the opportunity to learn a new skill, as well as raising money for the hospice. All that's needed is commitment. A pair of dancing shoes, £30 entry fee, and a minimum £250 sponsorship per person for North London Hospice, and you could be waltzing your way to victory in front of a judging panel. North London Hospice provides support for people living with life-limiting conditions and their families in the boroughs of Barnet, Enfield and Haringey. To sign up or find out more, call Gina McLaughlin on 0208 446 2288 or email gmclaughlin, at northlondonhospice.co.uk. Alternatively, a form can be completed online by visiting www.northlondonhospice.org.
A public consultation into the future of a library in Enfield Loch starts on Monday. Enfield Council said in May that Ordnance Road Library in Hertford Road would be developed to make way for a centre comprising a library, GP surgery, dentist and community space. The existing 40-year-old concrete structure was refurbished last year. 2 self-issue kiosks were installed to help free staff time and make borrowing books easier. Drop-in sessions to see the new proposals will be held at the library on Monday, August the 20th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., and on Tuesday, August the 21st, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The site plan, floor plans, and 3D pictures will remain on display for those unable to make the sessions. Enfield Council Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure, Youth and Localism, Councillor Bambo Charalambos, said the Council is determined to provide a better library experience with at least the same amount of usable public space as the current library. There will also be Wi-Fi, more computers and quiet study areas added to make it a fantastic new space. We welcome residents' feedback on this much-needed centre and are certain that seeing the plans of the site firsthand will generate a degree of interest and excitement about the project.
An Edmonton man has been jailed following a violent burglary in Ponders End. Omaru Thompson, 24, of Forest Road, was sentenced to 6 years and 4 months in jail after an incident in which he stormed into an address in Ponders End with a gang of men on November 19, 2011. The court was told a sawn-off shotgun was pushed against one of the 2 men in the property while the room was ransacked. Computer and music equipment was stolen before the men escaped via the back of the property. Police were called to the scene immediately and found Thompson sitting in a vehicle parked behind the address. He tried to escape by speeding off using the wrong side of the road but lost control and hit a lamppost. A sawn-off shotgun was discovered after his vehicle was searched. On November 20th, 2011, he was charged with aggravated burglary, dangerous driving and possession of a shortened shotgun. He appeared for sentencing at Wood Green Crown Court on July 27th this year.
The Paralympic torch visited an Enfield supermarket on Tuesday, more than 2 weeks before the start of the Paralympic Games. Some 150 people popped into Sainsburys Local in St Mark's Road in Bush Hill Park to see the flame in all its glory and take photographs beside it. The Mayor of Enfield, Councillor Kate Analu, also came to see the silver emblem. The Paralympic Games start on Wednesday, August 29th. Customer Service Assistant Carol James said, "It was amazing. We felt proud to have the torch here." The 52-year-old, who spent the past month organising the special visit, added, "People really enjoyed seeing it, and we were honoured to have it." The store was open as usual, and visitors enjoyed complimentary food and drink while the torch was on show. The visit was part of Sainsbury's sponsorship of the Paralympics.
2 women are on bail after a suspected drug stash was uncovered at a property in Bounds Green. A 31-year-old and a 52-year-old were arrested for possession with intent to supply after a search warrant was executed in Marlborough Road on Tuesday, July the 31st. Police are waiting for analysis of the substance, which is believed to be a Class A drug.
Swimmer Dan Fogg admitted that he had exceeded his expectations by finishing 5th in the gruelling Olympic open water race in the Serpentine at Hyde Park on Friday. The Edmonton-born 24-year-old, who came 8th in the 1,500-metre freestyle event in the pool earlier in the Games, had sealed his spot in Team GB for the 10K race by edging out Beijing silver medalist David Davis in the trials. Despite this, Fogg was not expected to challenge for a medal, but he started brightly and initially slotted in behind German Thomas Lurz in second place. However, the Briton soon began to drop down the field and found himself down in 16th at one stage before picking up the pace and mounting a late charge up the field to end up in a highly creditable 5th place in a time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, 37 seconds. I'm really happy with 5th. It's probably higher than I thought I could do, said Fogg. I made a really good start. I was riding on Lurz's feet and then I backed off. I assumed there was a breakaway at some point and I had no idea what position I was in. It was a case of catching the person in front of me and then putting the hammer down for the line. I felt quite ropey at one point, but on the last lap I had quite a bit left and I was feeling good. It was just a case of trying to fight my way to the front. I was quite a bit behind and just picking them off one at a time. I just wish I was a bit closer to be in the race, but I'm really happy from where I came from to get up to 5th. Tunisia's Oussama Melouli claimed gold in a time of 1.49.55.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. So from the team of
Joan, Beverley, Rod,
and myself, Lilian, with Cassandra and Colin on controls, it's goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
Good night.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet and return the packet to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. The Enfield Talking newspaper will be with you in 1 week's time.